Welcome to the channel. This is Diaspora Connect. This is Wanda, and thank you for tuning in. Welcome to my channel. Welcome in the room. Yeah, the sun went down on me, y'all. I didn't think about doing a video until late, and now it's dark. So I'm sorry it has weird lighting because I like to do videos with the natural light, but I missed the sun when it went down, and so I was like, let me just still do a video. I'm trying to be more consistent and do videos at least twice a week instead of once a week. I can't make that promise, but I'm going to try to prepare to do videos. There are people doing videos, the newer people, and they're just on here just talking about their everyday life. So I guess I could do that too. Talk about my everyday dealings in life, living in Tanzania, Africa, for going on 4.5 years now, and all is well. And yeah, I just had the interview yesterday with the Unapologetic Nomad. Shout out to them. And they have moved. They have a place here in Tanzania. And but yeah, I that was very exciting to do. And yeah, I decided to come to you today about um, this. Everybody's talking about this, so I don't think I really want to talk about the election because everybody else is talking about that. I'm trying to bring things that are relevant to us, what we got going on here in Tanzania, that will help you. So I guess I could talk about budgets. How about that? Let me share a little bit about having a budget when you move to not only Tanzania, but any African country. You have to have a budget. You need to be on a budget. So even if you have 60,000, 100,000, 20,000, whatever, 10,000, 5,000, whatever the amount of money that you have, you need to live on a budget. And I know, yes, it is cheaper here. It's not as expensive here for certain like rentals, food and stuff, but to keep from over going over your budget because it is not as expensive. You have to set one. You have to have a budget. You have to have a budget for everything, for your food, for your transportation, for your, of course, for your rent and your bills. That's something that we normally have a budget for, but a lot of times we don't always have a set a budget for our food here and for our transportation because we feel like it's so reasonable. It's not that expensive, but it does add up. So you do have to still put yourself on a budget. And so that is what I do here. I I live on a budget here. I live on a budget here. Um, so I have, a budget, have your rent and your utilities, and I have a budget for groceries. So I plan days to go. So um, I would say every 3 days instead of going every day would add up, and that would start, being pricey for you, unless you can walk. Now, if you can walk to the grocery store to get your food or food stands, then you don't really have to consider that transportation cost, but you do need to consider the cost of buying the food. But for me, the budget with food is when I go out to the grocery store. So I try to go to like three different places to pick up everything that I usually need. And then I come back in, and I'm not going back out to get food for like 3 days. So I usually get enough food for 3 days at a time because this food is so fresh and it goes bad like quickly. And a lot of times you get all this fruit, vegetables, all this stuff. It's not going to last you a week. It's going to start going bad after like the second or third day. So I just shop every 3 days basically. But when I do the big shopping, like when I go to the grocery store and I get like uh, things that'll last longer, then um, I don't have to worry about getting those for a while. But when it comes to the fresh fruit and vegetables, I go every 3 days for your tomatoes, your onions, your cucumbers, your lettuce, your cilantro, all your fresh pineapples and mangoes and avocados, all that fresh food. You have to go every 3 days because they go bad really quickly. In 2 or 3 days, if you don't eat them, they're gonna go bad on you. So you have to know that before you come, because otherwise you'll be shopping every single day. So you can't, it's going to be harder or more difficult for you to stay on a budget if you're shopping every day, right? So I usually do every 3 days. I shop and I have a list. You have to write a list, write yourself. Like I have notes in my phone, and I every time I need something, I'll just write it in my phone on my grocery list. I have a grocery list. So you write what you need, you jot that down on your grocery list. And so when you go, you get what's on your list. Don't just start picking up stuff because it's cheap. Because that's if that's the case, you're gonna blow your, but you're not gonna have a budget because you're gonna constantly be spending, right? Because the price is so reasonable, you're gonna be spending. So you have to put yourself on a budget when you move to Africa, in any country in Africa. When you come from the West, you have to live on a budget in the West, and just because it's not as expensive here does not mean that you don't have to live on a budget, because you will actually end up spending, if not just as much, yeah, just as much as you would to survive over in the West if you don't put yourself on a budget, and especially if you plan on trying to do business, if you, want to buy a car, bajaji, buying equipment and tools and this and that for projects and stuff like that, you have to. It's mandatory. Get on a budget. Start now. Uh, you know, write down. I'm not going to spend more than this. You have, like I do that. I'm like, when I go to the store, I'm only taking this much out of the bank. So what I do is with my bank account, I'll just send money to my phone, right? I have a certain amount on my phone, and I only whenever I go, my every 3 days, whenever, or sometimes I'll change it from every 3 days to a week. If I have enough food that's gonna last me a whole week, then I won't call my driver for a week. So once a week, you go to your shopping, your big shopping, but the little fruits that you need, fruit stands all around you, you can just walk. You don't have to pay for transportation. So that saves you money. If you live by fruit stands and everything, that saves traveling or transportation costs. But if you know you have to go in town and drive any certain distance and you need a driver, you need to budget that. So I won't take out more than like what 60,000 T shillings out of the bank. I have the rest on my phone. So you have that amount, and that's, you're not going to spend more than that. You got to be committed not to. You calculate your transportation is going to be this. You're going to spend this much at this store, because I go to like 2 or 3 different stores. Spend this much at this store, and then I'm going to buy this. So you allocate how much each thing is. You have to. It's imperative that you stay on a budget, because you will overspend, and sometimes you'll be overcharged. So if you're not on a budget, then you won't know what you're being overcharged for. You're on a budget. You're like, okay, if I'm only spending this amount at this store, and if it's more than what I estimate I'm going to spend, I'm not going to get it this time. I'm going to wait till next time and get it. So that's what I say. You have to live on a budget. I live on a budget. I low key live like a local, basically. Of course, a little more than a local, but I live on kind of a strict budget. I don't spend more than a certain amount on certain things. And if it costs more than what I want to spend, I just won't get it till maybe another time. Something comes up to where I get like extra money, or money outside of my bill, what's allocated for certain bills, I get extra money, then I'll go and get that special thing that I didn't anticipate, or didn't have on my list to purchase. So it's very, very important to get yourself on a budget. You won't know what your budget will be specifically until you arrive. So whatever country that you arrive into on the continent, you know, just ask around about the prices, how much the fruit is, and vegetables, and this and that. And that should be actually our main meals when we come from the West and we move to Africa. Most of us should start trying to be more plant based in our diet. Yes, you can cook it, but I mean, the reason I say that is because the fruit, vegetables, and all the natural foods are the cheapest. So the more that you eat, the healthier it is. So, and then the processed food is more expensive. So the sodas and the sugary drinks and the cakes and all that stuff is a lot more expensive. So it's actually cheaper to eat healthier here versus in the West, it's cheaper to eat bad than healthy, because they don't want you to be healthy in the West. So it's more natural here. So, plan on having a budget once you arrive, get to comfortable, get to know where the fruit stands are, where you stand, what your rent might be, what your budget is, and don't go over that amount. Don't go over that amount. Be kind of strict about it. Even if you have the money. I tell people, just because you have $60,000 don't mean you have to come here and spend it all at one time. You know what I mean? You still live like you ain't got nothing but $5. You ain't got nothing but $2. You could have a bank full of money, but you come here and you live on a strict budget because you don't know how much things are going to cost if you want to create a business, if you want to, you know, stay long term or whatever. You don't know how much all these things are going to cost. And so the unexpected um, expenses may come up. You will have that money available, saved to be able to get everything done. But if you start just going through it when you first get here, just spending and not being on a budget, then that's how you can run out of money quickly and still have not accomplished what you have come here to accomplish. So yeah, this just video was just, I didn't know what I was going to talk about, but budgeting came up. It's very important to budget when you move to Africa, especially from the West, because we tend to tend to spend a lot of money because we feel like, oh, it's cheap. Oh, this only this is, and we're looking at things out of in the USD mindset. You can't look at uh, purchasing things here like that. You have to look at the price and the cost of the item here, not what you pay in the US. This is, because it's not the US. So make sure you do that because you'll end up spending more if you think like that. And also, you already have people looking at you when they hear your accent or find out where you're from. They already looking at you as a money bag, trying to get as much out of you as they can. It just is what it is. So you thinking the way you thinking, and they thinking the way you just giving away money. You just giving away money. You just rich. You giving away money. So if you don't want to go through that and have to experience that and have to, you know, spend up a, you know, spend up all your money and just be wondering, what did I do with $10,000? What did I do with $5,000? Like, where did it go? A lot of people have done that when they've come here. Even myself, I've had a certain amount of money through 401k, and I ran through it so quick, and I'm thinking, I did see what I did with it because I did at least create a business. I did buy a bunch of furniture and all that stuff. So I did have something to show for it. But some people have a lot of money and they don't really have a lot to show for it. They eat out a lot. That's the last thing that I'm gonna say. You have to cook your food. You cannot eat out all the time. Limit yourself. Put yourself on a budget. Say I'll eat out once a week. Sometimes I do that. I'll eat out. Not it's not a set. It's not set for me to say I'm going to eat out once a week, but it seems like I do. I'll eat out or away from home once a week, and I can decide based on if I have an urge to eat out and I don't feel like cooking. But I always have things at home that I can cook, I can prepare without cooking. Because sometimes we don't feel like cooking, like turning on the stove. It's hot here. So when I have a grill and I can cook outside too. But sometimes I don't feel like cooking hot food. Sometimes I want cold food, like a submarine sandwich or nachos or something. Or nachos you have to cook, but with the beans and all that. But chips and dips or sandwiches or snacks and peanuts and popcorn and dates and nuts and seeds, and so it's there are meals that you can prepare that you don't have to cook, but sometimes I just want to eat, and so it's okay, but just don't overdo it because always remember you are not at home to where you don't have that buffer that you have when you're in the West. Not a lot of us do even over there, but you want to make sure that you are wise over your finances and you're basically kind of strict with how you spend your money. So to save and be more economic, it's more economical basically to just cook or prepare meals at home, breakfast at home, get you some oatmeal, get you some porridge, get you some fruits. You can eat that for breakfast. For dinner, you can, you know, cook you something, get you, buy you meals to cook spaghetti and um, salads and sandwiches, whatever you do, but just make it a habit of cooking. Even when you first get here, it's tempting to be eating out all the time, but that money adds up. Believe me, Because sometimes I plan on eating out maybe once a week, which is also based on my income, my money that I have. So yeah, I have a budget that I would like to eat out once a week, but if I don't have the money, so if other bills come first, like rent, your utilities, whatever, internet, whatever you got, your phone, whatever you got, if they come first. So if I have money set aside for those things, and I can't eat out because I don't have the money, I can't eat out. I have to cook. So you have to do that sometimes. Sometimes you got to buy some beans and rice. Sometimes you got to get some ugali. Sometimes you got to get some mchicha, some greens. You can eat them all the time. They perfect. They're healthy for you. I used to eat them like every day. I used to eat the greens every day. I don't eat them as much as I used to. I can eat them every day, but I'm kind of diversifying now. I don't eat them as much, and things are better, so I can have more of a selection of what I want to eat. But I used to just eat them. I used to eat greens all the time, beans and rice, and because it's filling, and that's when I cut back on meat. I don't eat meat as much because why? Meat costs more than fruit and vegetables. And so a lot of us cut back on meat coming here because it costs more, and nobody want to pay the little bit of extra for the meat. I know I don't. So I rather eat fruit and vegetables, and it's healthier for me anyway. And I feel renewed, and I feel my energy level is really high. I don't have like the itis. You know how like when you eat meat and then you just feel sluggish. I don't. When you eat a lot of fruit and vegetables, you don't feel like that after you eat. Even if you get full, because I do eat. I still eat carbs. I have the rice and the pastas and the potatoes and all that stuff, and I still don't feel the itis. Don't feel that sluggish, want to go to sleep type of feeling when you eat heavy meats. So yeah, but just make sure if you deciding you want to relocate to Africa, if you want to leave the West, you want to move back to Mama Africa, make sure that you have a budget that you stick to. You don't have to have it written out before you arrive in Africa, but when you get here, start jotting down things and remembering the cost of stuff so you can make sure to put yourself on a budget and stick with it. Be kind of strict. Yeah, I'm strict on my budget. I'm kind of strict, and I know sometimes people like, she making a big deal about, but it's my budget. That's why I'm on a budget. So you do have to be kind of strict with your budget, especially when you know you got things to do. If you know you got to travel, or if you know you doing a project, creating a business, or you buying land and you paying for it, you doing all these things. You want that money to go to that. You don't want to just be spending that money on food when you can buy food and cook. So this is what I'm saying about budget. So yeah, if you I can share more with you about how to budget here if you would like me to. I'm not the I'm not an expert at like budgeting. I do have a bachelor's degree in business though. But when you have a bachelor's degree in business, it's general business. So it just touches on a little bit of everything: marketing management, finance, accounting, just all the different modalities in business. You just touch on all of them, accounting, all that stuff. So I'm not like no professional financial advisor or anything, but I'm just going by what I do. And what I have done have helped me and worked for me going on 4.5 years now. I have been here. I've been through ups and downs. I have went broke too, just like everybody else. But I've always had a plan A, B, C, and D, y'all. So, and I didn't even develop that till I got here. I just started. When you get here, you start seeing how things operate, and you start seeing how fast money goes, and you just start your wheels just start turning in your mind. We're really good about redirecting our resources, and that's what I had to learn to do. So, if I have a plan to do this by this date, it's not going to work here like it does in the West, especially if you don't have a lot of resources. So you just have to work with the resources that you do have. So when you get those resources in, you already have in your mind, okay, I write down what I have a notebook and I write down the things I want to do, right? And I don't know the cost of these things, but I have an estimated amount. And so as I get certain funds or whatever, they are set aside for this, or I need this amount for this, or I need to do this project. So when I get this amount, it's for this. So that's the type of budgeting that I do. And you can do it too, even if I do consultations. I have a business I created. It's a consultation business, and it's not stable. It's up and down. I never know what it's gonna be month to month. Some months is more than I expect. Some months is, less than I was hoping for. And sometimes it's nothing. But you have to have a plan. That's why you budget. So if you budget the correct way, then even if you have a month or whenever where your money is not, you have a business and the money is not coming in, some month, one month it may not come in at all. I've gone a month or so without even it coming in when it comes to consultations, but I have other things that I can rely on. That's why it's good to have streams of income. So you just have to uh, figure out different ways of generating income. And even if it's not here until you get a business set up or whatever, you could have things online. You can sell things online, create a business online, create a store online, do YouTube. I'm not even monetized on YouTube, and I got this message. I've been on YouTube for 5 years. I was not consistent until 2020 when I first got here, but that's when I really started getting more of the subscribers and stuff. Because after I got here, I was at like I think when I first got here, I think it was under 500 subscribers, and then after I was here for like 2 or 3 months, I got to 500 subscribers. So yeah, it was kind of slow, but once I got here, then the subscriber count started going up. Watch hours was up and down because I didn't realize that with watch hours, as you get them, they drop off, and so I was looking at them and I was like, oh, I'm almost close to 4,000 watch hours. Then the next month came and it dropped off, and then I was back down again. And I was like, no. So I didn't know it's watch hours for 365 days or 365 days. You got to have those 4,000 watch hours in 1 year. So the old ones drop off, and I didn't realize that. And then when I was able to get monetized, I had some strikes on my channel from videos removed and a strike from some videos that had I done older videos about the harm in the arm. And yeah, I they had removed some of those which were older when I first got here in 2020 when I was talking about it, and everybody was scared and afraid, and I was like, I'm in another. Anyway, Mega Foodie was alive and all the, yeah, they was like removing those. So now I'll be able to reapply for monetization in December. Hopefully I'll get it, but if not, I'm still going to be doing videos as I said before. I'm still sharing, and I'm still contributing and helping those who are interested in coming. So if you're interested and you want to visit Tanzania and you need a relocation consultation and or business consultation, hit me up at diasporaconnect0@gmail.com, diasporaconnect0@gmail.com. I do travel business consultations. I do relocation business consultations for you. Since I've been here for 4.5 years, I basically help you take the steps and walk through the walk through the steps that I've taken to have been here 4 years, going on 4.5 years now. And so that's it. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Please do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. And I have this over my head today because I braided my hair, y'all. And so I wanted to just cover it today. So yeah, I put some twists in it and then I'll take them out so it can be like kind of full. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to come to you today. I'm gonna try to be more consistent in my videos because they say that when you do more videos, they say you get more watch hours or something, and so and more subscribers or something. So I said at least instead of once a week, maybe I'll do a video twice a week. I mean, I'm not really doing anything to where I can't. It's just that the ideas that the things to talk about is that's the hard part of trying to figure out what to talk about. But it's so many things that I can share with you without sharing too much because a lot of things I won't share on here because I do consultations, remember, and people pay, so they pay for exclusive um, detailed information about business and all that, and I can share all that. You have to understand that. So that is for people who actually pay for consultations. They get the deep tea, the 411 on how to get things done or how I did things here in Tanzania. So, but anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll do another one video in the next couple of days. So sorry about the light darkness. I missed the natural sunlight, so I had to use some of these lights around here. So But thank you so much for tuning in. I'll do another video in the next couple of days. I'll see you guys in the next video. Shalom, salama, peace, family.